These one. So while that goes, I'm going to go here, add this so I have a marker. See, what I did learn looking at the transcripts last night is a marker for sections might be a good idea. If I'm that way, when I'm looking at the stuff, I'm getting all the information in the right section. So that's why I've just marked this section with starting game dev section. Here's a cool one. Year Joy Soda SG. I want to let the credits run for a couple seconds just so everybody can see who's been helping and stuff like that. I will, now that I have the transcripts, I can be a little bit more accurate on that. If I miss somebody, please let me know. But here we is. And ads will begin in 2 minutes, of course. So I will probably pterodactyl during these ads, so this set of ads. But we have a couple minutes, so let's get our page up here. Let's get some setup done here. We need game design stuff. Because we talked a lot yesterday about Granddad and the Uncle. I mean, a lot. And there is quite a few things that we probably should still answer while we're working on them. And then we'll go to the boy story. And we're not going to have everything answered perfectly, but we are going to at least take a stab at filling in some of the holes in the story, because there are a few, and we will work our way through them. One of them is, of course, is we basically have made 3 endings to the game. Is we back Granddad, we back the uncle, or we don't help either one of them. And do we want to have 3 endings to the game? So that's one of the things we have to talk about is where are we on that? Another one is how they got there. I mean, we talked a lot about Loki and Handel, Keeper of the Bridge, and them doing something or trying something, and then Thor knocking it over and causing it. We also have to talk a little bit more about, are the gods actually still talking to Granddad? Does he still have any communication with him, or is Loki the only one that has come into their domain? Those are things that we're going to talk about. But we have a couple seconds before Zombie comes up, and I'm going to take a pterodactyl real quick, and then come back, and we will go full bore into it. We're just waiting for the zombie to go. Yeah, we still have to figure a little bit more. One of the things that was brought up earlier today was, are the followers of the uncle removing body parts to become more machinery? That was an interesting thing, but I don't think we need to go that deep into the story, but we'll talk about it and see if it pans out into something that can work. So, and I will be right back. I can see your point, Sparta. You know, mining is a dangerous business, but I think we also need to talk about his true followers. Would they? Me personally, I would say no, but you never know. So a bunch of questions in my mind did come up, and we go through some of them. You know, there's a couple realms, or one realm, which is the frost giant realm, maybe where they should be. So, and it's called, God, what I wrote it down here somewhere. I'm trying to see where I put it. Why don't I'm sorry. Let me turn this off first, so we can get this and that off. Let's turn a window on that has our game design stuff. Yes, Sparta, that is the correct word. I wrote it down. I also was looking for other ways to keep notes on everything, because I have been putting them on there and copying them, and then now I know how to download the transcript of our conversations, which is good. I also need to take a WAV file of what my answers are in my side of the conversation, because I don't type everything into the thing, and then turn that into a time-based transcript so that I can match it to your guys' comments. Pronouncing should be Jotunheim, but don't quote me on that. I'm not Scandinavian. I mean, you can put it in Google and see what Google calls it. But okay, so here's the proper spelling of it with the proper letters. Let's see what Google says. What does Google say? I think you can say pronunciation. I hate when that happens. Jotunheim. Jotunheim. Jotunheima. According to Google, it's Jotunheima. Turn that back off now because I'm echoing my own head. Get back to that. It has turned off. Why? They don't need to be removed. Okay. Jotunheima. Jotunheima. Yeah, you were very close. Let me get this going here. Can you still hear me? Yes, but can I still hear me? Yes, it's driving me nuts. That's what happens when I get. That's what I get for taking. It does not turn it off there. Ah, okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Ah. Basically, what's happening is I'm talking, and then literally 4 seconds later, what I said is now in my headphones. So I'm gonna take my headphones off. Okay. So, things that we were discussing. Where were we at? We had talked about this. Kid story is what we need to work on. Teleport to GD. Um, so there was a question in regards to why they're there. How did they get there? And we touched on some ideas, but figuring out what the realm is, and if it's Jotunheimer, that's fine. Jotunheimen, that is fine, and that actually does work. But I think that it's still important that every now and then the rift still opens, but only slightly. And monsters from other realms do fall into the world or onto their island, and they have to defend themselves against it. Not necessarily the giants, but they do eventually have to get going with the giants and like having wars with the giants and stuff like that. But I don't think we're ready for that yet. You know. Also, what kind of weather or seasons or stuff like that does our world have? And a lot of this stuff is superficial because the game may not span 4 seasons as far as game time or their time, but we will see. Yeah, so we know that the giants are there. What other things are in that realm? Is the world connected in any way to the world tree, or is it a completely separate dimension? Which we talked a little bit about when Loki his stuff was knocked over, and the Rainbow Bridge, his prism caught some of the light from the Rainbow Bridge, and split, and transferred them from there to where they are now, which was a complete accident. And in all honesty, Loki and I forget how to pronounce his name, the guy that runs the bridge, they're the only ones that know that it happened. Thor's oblivious because Thor is always oblivious. So is it Loki's fault? No. Technically, yes, Loki was up to no good and doing Loki things, but he wasn't, he didn't do it on purpose. So I think that Thor knocking him over is what caused it. Therefore, it's Thor's fault. And it's always good to blame something on Thor now and then. In the game, it would be kind of fun. Do mom and dad have to be home? Being teleported to another realm might have not been safe at all and cause some incidents. No, mom and dad were not home. I'm assuming they were out doing things, and they were not in the village at the time of the transmognification to the new realm. So, did Thor cause the accident? Yes. What is the divine punishment? So, okay, so what is, if all this stuff's going on, is there any, I was trying to think of if there was any punishment or consequences to this happening. I mean, does Zeus get pissed off? Once he finds out about it, does the Rainbow Bridge guy, does he have to report things? Yeah, I can bring the first set of questions up. Man. On this page, so we'll put them over here. As you can see, I started filling them in, but oops, I forgot Okay, world setting. What is the realm the Vikings transport to? We've already made that decision that it is the one we just talked about. Krontundale. Yeah, that one. Can't talk. Yes, by frost giants. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about in regards to what are the natural threats in the world. Himdall is the one that does the Rainbow Bridge, so I always forget his name. Even though we just talked about it yesterday, my brain just went, nope. Go down here and say, I put it down at the bottom. Himdall, Rainbow Bridge. Because I'm a moron. Okay, can we see the questions? These are the questions I'm looking at. And they're grouped. So, are there other beings? Yes, there's giants. I really hate the fact that you can't always see where your mouse is on this one. Is this realm connected to the world tree? Good question. Do villagers have a way to communicate with other? No. I think they should be separate from the others, and we'll talk about two after that. A newly created realm within the unstable rift made the light catch from the Rainbow Bridge would allow you to create a story where you don't need to justify having mythological creatures fall from the realms, okay? It would also create a reasoning for the gods not coming there aid immediately as they need to find it first. Well, that could be the case. I mean, if we're talking about when the faults and stuff like that is Loki has to figure out what happened first. What, let's see. So if Loki has to figure out what actually happened before the gods can do anything, because he may we're I'm just assuming he knew, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know what happened. Maybe he doesn't know. What I mean, what happened is he doesn't know that the new realm was created. He doesn't know that the town disappeared yet. You know. If we're going from realm, so it's a natural jump that we need to use steam and science to keep themselves. I don't know what the hell that just was. Hell. Sorry, something weird just came up. I need to.
Sorry, something went wrong. I couldn't resume.
Someone just did something weird on my phone. Okay. Sorry, business. If we're doing I'm from freezing, but growing plants, trees. Yeah, they'd have to build like greenhouses or something. I'm not saying anything definitive, just laying out some reasoning. Once Loki finds out, he might keep it a secret for from the rest and have it as his own little plaything, a realm he can rule for himself. Possibly it also could give us the answer as to why it's been a couple years since they got there, and nobody showed up. So we basically the simple transportation thing. We understand how the realm was created. I think teleportation is the wrong word. I think cause of the creation. Or sorry, let me rephrase that. Realm. That's close enough. That better? Real. Real. Okay. Wasn't Loki's fault. Okay, nope. Okay, outcome. So yeah, if he does hide the realm, then that actually works out good for us because it says it gives us a amount of time period for them to get a little bit older. Um, it gives them time to create a structure. I'm not really a fan of it being a frozen place. I mean, the only thing I think of is if it's frozen, the first thing they did was find the caves, which became the mine later. But it doesn't. I don't know. That just doesn't fit right. You know. I don't know. Unless we did something, and I don't know if this is even possible because I don't know enough about Norse mythology. But does it? Could the energy from the Rainbow Bridge, when it created the realm, create a tepid spot in the frozen world? If that makes any sense at all. I do like the idea of Loki keeping it a secret. I actually wrote it on there. There's punishment. Loki hides the realm. Can't punish someone for something you don't know about, right? I'm back. Welcome, Cervantes. There was an issue in the lab. Had to deal with it. Are you going to end up with superpowers? I'm thinking Loki pulls a minor spell on Henry, preventing him from seeing the realm. It starts growing roots in that direction, and a few years later, once he reaches the realm, gods realized what had happened. That can make sense. And of course, the first thing that Thor will do is say it's Loki's fault. Wrong kind of lab. Okay, sorry. Most likely end up with cancer if I'm not careful. Oh, well, please be careful then. We always want to err on the side of careful. Technically, Deadpool superpowers are cancer. That's funny. Did we get all of the questions from my second cause creation? Yep. Sorry, just trying to. Oh, geez. Was someone else responsible? We already answered that. I like the idea that the tree had started growing that way, but nobody understood why. I don't think that because we had talked about the village, we didn't talk too much about the surrounding area or where people were and stuff like that. So I think that it's only the village. So it pulls the village over, but it's only the village. So the village and the people. However, the boy's parents were gone. We have to come up with a name for him. Boy's parents. Yeah, maybe they were out fighting or something. Yeah. And you could have consequences to Thor's initially because he did something foolish and they believed it cost the lives of innocent people. But later on, Loki gets punished for hiding the truth. Yeah. Well, we could do that. So he's punished for being clumsy and the village disappearing. Even though if Loki wasn't doing what Loki was doing, then it probably wouldn't have been a problem. But in the end, Loki absolutely will be punished. Put this down here just so we have them both. So put them in order. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this all close up, but it's just not always working. Let's go ahead and do it that way. Come here. Ad should be finished. Oh, I missed an ad. Sorry. Oh, because I didn't have my headphones on. I didn't hear it. Didn't hear it? Yeah, the damn microphone is still doing its thing. Build a new computer, they said. It'll be easy, they said. Transfer everything from one to the other, they said. Out on a raid. Yeah, they're out on a raid. Yeah, I mean, and that's actually really, really good because then in doing so, they have enough supplies in the beginning, or we can say that it gave them enough supplies or livestock or whatever in the beginning to survive when they first got there. You know, as they learned what the what is that, what else is in the realm. So so we do have, I do have more questions. Let me see if I can grab these other questions. My third group. This is group 1 and 2. Now let me pull them all together so it's packaged them neatly. Oh, it just looks messy. And I cannot see the cursor, so yay. Okay. Role of the gods. Do the gods actively watch over the event? No. They are only, as we've been talking, they are only aware. So they're only aware that that the village and other items and people vanished from the Nine Realms. A dad who is a renowned warrior and a strong shieldsman for mom. Sounds like a typical Viking family. Yeah, they're living the dream. Okay, so the tree is growing in that direction. When it gets there, the gods become aware. Yeah, that makes sense. Yes. We'll put this up here that only Loki knows, but I think we made it clear further down, so we'll emphasize it. And yes, I'm well aware that we're putting multiple Multiples of the same answer across different things, but that's because it will eventually all tie together. And maybe it could be Loki who's keeping it. If it is, if we end up using the frozen frost giants area, maybe Loki is keeping that section warm or climatable. If the player makes it to a special. Well, the endings are another thing that are on my list of stuff we have to talk about, because right now we have 3 endings, and we don't know what the players' outcome to those endings are. As Thor stumbles in the event, Loki sees the opportunity, wants to be king of his own realm. As a bonus, he gets his brother punished. Yes. I actually like the way you worded that. I know my eyes are not the best, but looking for the mouse on this sometimes is very difficult. Is that why Steve is crazy? Because only Loki can contact him. Maybe. I mean, we do talk quite a bit about, in fact, when we get down to the villagers and stuff, I think that we start to talk about why Steve is kind of cooked up. No worries. Yeah, we can add it down here too, because it will all end up on the same sheet. We can put it down here just to emphasize it. There you go. Is it or will there influence? So only Loki will have influence. And you said that I actually like the fact that you said that I like what you said that he. Oh, jeez, I always do that. No worries, because it fits in both. But yeah, I like the idea that he's doing it to rule his own world, and then yes, then it does what you had written before does fit in all this. Yeah. Now here's my question, because I don't know all Loki's powers. Does Loki actually have? Oh, one rude. Thank you very much for the follow. Does Loki actually have the power to block Hamdell from seeing it? Or is Hamdell only powered up into the into what the World Tree sees? Let me get my thing up here so I can see. Because I don't have my headphones on, I just put them back on because I'm echoing in my own head. But Twisted Family, thank you very much for the follow. I think we got everybody else. Okay. Okay, so because I was just wondering, because I don't know, like I said, I don't know enough about Loki's power other than he's a trickster and he does all those kind of things. But I need to see if I can fix this headphone thing. No, it's not going to fix. I'm just going to have to put up with it today. See if I close some things, maybe it'll clear out. It wouldn't be so bad except for the delay. Queen of Blind. Well, it shouldn't be too big a stretch, but Hamdell is a pretty powerful dude himself, and his main thing is seeing everything. So that's where I get that's where my my drawback is to it is okay. So I'm looking for something that will kill the echo. I found it. I found the right one. It is. You guys can still hear me, so that's good. Loki pulled out the mask function, drew over the new realm. Okay. I mean, if it's within his power to do so, that's great. I just do not, like I said, I do not know enough about Loki's powers to do that. But it's good to know. Okay, could this be Ragnarok or another divine scheme? I don't think it's Ragnarok. I think it's literally just an accident. It's just a mishap. However the hell you spell mishap. Yeah, it's just a mishap. Yeah. God versus God. Who is the bigger God? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we'll assume that Loki is blocking the vision of the. I think it's safe to say that Loki can block the vision of the realm, but in doing so, he isn't actually blocking Hamdell from seeing. He's just blocking the realm to where Hamdell doesn't see it. Because I don't want to get into a situation like you just said. Is Loki affecting Hamdell's vision? And I think we can get in a lot of trouble with that. So, but if he is masking the realm so Hamdell can't see it, where his effect is on the realm, not on Hamdell, I think we can get away with that. So yeah, so maybe something like that as opposed to just flat out he's blocking Hemdell's vision, which I don't think he can do, but well, yes and no. I think that he would if it was already in the pre-existing realms that he oversaw. If the I'm making an assumption, I may be wrong. Please correct me if I am. But if Hamdell's vision is based on what the world tree sees, or the world tree is connected to, then technically all Loki would really have to do is block the world tree from seeing the realm, and Hamdell won't see it unless I'm misunderstanding how Hamdell's powers work. Because I don't remember ever anybody explained to me how Hamdell is connected to all of it. My assumption would be through the world tree. So if the world tree hasn't reached it yet, then Loki can block vision of it, Hamdell's vision of it. But I don't know. Blocking all of Hamdell's sight, Hamdell would notice the illusion and fight back, but blocking off a single piece where there wasn't enough anything before, as long as he doesn't poke the veil, it should stay up. So once the world tree reaches the new realm, Hemdell realizes that the roots have reached a new realm and quickly puts together what Loki has done. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with it as well. In fact, let me put that little thing down here, because that's just it. I mean, and I may be stretching how Hemdell's powers work, but if the world tree isn't connected to it, and it's something new that came out of nowhere, I think Loki can hide it without actually doing anything really to Hemdell, except for maybe a little bit of manipulation. Okay, did my ads get changed? Because it seems like no, time is moving that fast. If we take pieces of other realms to make them, would he not try looking for them? Oh, that's a question. Would he? Because I think that it could be wrapped into the fact that Thrall is being punished for the village disappearing. Would he also be blamed for all the other little things throughout all the realms that are disappearing? Like, are they going to make a big deal about 10 cattle here when a whole village disappeared? What would it be? What would be the significance? It'd be, to me, it would just be Thrall getting in trouble over and over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, and we can always just assume, like Sparta's saying, we can always just assume that Loki can talk his way out of anything. So, mm. Here, let me. Mm. Now we can go on to group 4. Group 4 questions. I hate when it does that. Cannot see shit. Okay. How strong is the divide between mechanism and technology, mysticism and technology? Well, we go to the next section. conflicts between grandfather and uncle. How strong is the division? I think it's pretty strong. The GD, I'll just call him Granddad. Ah, damn it. Okay, so yeah, I would say very fanatic. Absolutely true. I'll put this down here too. I have to add some more stuff here. Where's our center? I should probably just be doing this in Word, in all honesty. And the ads are gone. Okay, zombie has left the building. Grantak strongly believes in the gods, similar to a fanatic, but with so many years with no aid, it's normal for people to begin to question the gods in different ways. The longer time a people is given to think, the worse that rift will become. Yeah. This is an interesting one. And I don't want to put this question in, is one better than the other? I don't think that's the question we're trying to answer. I would say more of what are the advantages of each? Wow, my fingers just cannot do anything today. So we have advantages of GD and then uncle. So if we say for granddad, is there's a lot of loyalty to the gods should they return. So, okay. Is the conflict isolated or does it become violent? I don't. I mean, I wouldn't say violent per se, because I think that there still has to be a certain amount of we're all Vikings and we're in this together. But I think that there does have to be some conflict between the two townships. I think I saw it in a movie, one with Zeus and Poseidon. Hmm. I mean, because that could be part of the problem. Is the reason the granddad was taken was because his defenses weren't as strong as they used to be because the gods are getting further apart. Hmm. Yeah, unleash the kraken. Well, if Loki's still dropping in, and I think that's when we get to the questions about Steve, because Steve is another set of there's a few couple questions about Steve. So if Steve is if basically Loki comes to town or comes to the realm and always takes over Steve's consciousness, and then brings and in his own fashion gives them hints, but also makes them riddles so that they have to figure them out because he just thinks it's funny. But my brain is really centering on what Sparta had said about the mystics. Yes, when they first get there, I think the mystics would have a great deal of power. But the longer they're there, that power diminishes. Um, because the gods aren't hearing their prayers. They're not sending anything. And Loki's not allowing anybody things, but then that could lead to a situation is when the world tree finally connects. Do the mystic's power just instantly go off the charts? I absolutely hate my caps button. I'll rip it off. I'm typing. Where is it going? I have reached the limit. Ugh. Apparently, and we learned this yesterday, text files in this damn thing. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to create a Word doc and put it in Word. Where are you at, Word? There you are. New document. A blank document. And then we're going to take all of this, copy it, and put it in Word. We're going to come back over here. We're going to grab the Word file and see if we can do it from here. Yeah, it's a window, so we should be able to. Word document, Word. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Cool. Okay. At least now it'll be easier to type in. Okay, we're right here. Yeah. What happens when the world tree connects? Do they get an overwhelming amount of power when the world tree connects? Or is it a situation where the gods never received any of their prayers and salutations and all that stuff, and they are basically starting from scratch? I don't know. I know some people that can argue with an idiot in a bar for a very long time. It's actually quite fun to watch. Should be there about a lot of people turning to devotion and strong belief in the gods once the world around them changes. So I'm making sure that I get the make sure I get these points in here. Yeah, luckily I'll also be able to pull this stuff after as well. Yeah, but would that diminish in time? I think it would diminish in time. So I think that as the uncle and his people, because there will be people that go, as more people are leaving granddads the longer they're there, and they're going to the uncle because the uncle is adapting to the world, whereas the uncle is still holding to the old ways, and the old ways don't seem to be doing anything. And the further away they get from the old ways, the harder it is. Well, the original Clash of the Titans, I believe, was with Harryhausen and his animations. We're estimating right now it's been about 3 years. You know, that's what I'm saying. So, the boy was, say, seven and a half when they got there, and then now he past the age of. My understanding from what people had said before is the age of 10 is the big becoming a man time for a Viking. If I'm wrong, if that's wrong, please let me know. So we have to make him 10 so that so we can justify him saving the world because he's old enough to do so, type thing. Yeah, they're just settling in. They're still just finding their feet. The uncle has started mining the mines. The village, they have been able to build villages for each sect, you know, all that stuff, and shrines and everything that they need. So they've been there long enough to be comfortable, but not long enough to be able to beat the world yet. Not beat the world. I think that's not the way to put it. Let me do this real quick. It's something that we should have done, but we couldn't do in the other thing. Go up to where is the question? Is the conflict okay? We can start doing these. Just need to move them. Okay. That way we can make sure that we're on the same questions here. In the series Vikings, Ragnar takes his own son to the first village where he gets his bracelet and swears loyalty to Jarl when the boy is 10. He takes him to fight in the raid well past the middle of his teens. I think that Heal will go to the mines after the gods find the place. Unless we can justify. The question is this: have some of the gods' minions, for lack of a better way to put it, have some of the gods' minions been transported as well? So yeah, so we could fill the mine with the followers of Heal or Hell, and It is an interesting thought. And to take over the other village, the uncle kidnaps the grandfather. So everyone will live with mechanisms, and you, the hero, to stop him from bringing. Yeah, the uncle has two things. As number one, yes, he wants to be able to create everybody in his own image type thing. Is he is a machine, and he will always be a machine. He sees the pluses in it, in that as a machine, people can keep working forever. He doesn't have to give them lunch breaks. So one of the things he wants to do is he wants to learn from the uncle how the uncle or the grandfather, how the grandfather or his brother transferred his consciousness into a machine so that he can do it to other people. No, the mines do not have any portals at this time, but it doesn't mean that some won't open up later. So I think that as Loki's trying to keep this hidden, the fewer outside connections in the realm, the better. Because I think that, yes, after the world tree finds it or reaches it, after the vision of Heimdall is opened up to it, and the gods see it and stuff like that, then yes, I think that those kind of things can happen. Because the gods can rush in and to be like, okay, we need to put our fingers in this realm. So yeah, and I think it's perfectly logical that Hell's minions go into the mines and stuff like that after. But there's a bigger problem, is in that, and it's in the question here, is right here. What is the end goal of each brother? So I think that we've covered quite a few things on here. So to make it simple, though, I think that Granddad is loyalty to the gods. I think I just typed this somewhere. And then Uncle the question about heal is just set something off in me. So if we do an end number one for, can you see that on? End one for the uncle is heal takes the mines and banishes him to their deaths. That kind of thing. To try and make a chronological chain, I will be doing that. The accident occurs. Pieces of many of the realms of the village rip into that. Okay, sorry. I think that's pretty close, yeah. Here, let me move that over. But we do have to talk about the boy's journey through, and we did do some, but we do have to talk about the boy's journey. Ah, Cervantes. I look forward to hearing how it went. Oh, let's see. We're in. Oh, geez. That went quick. Ah, trying to set my water on my phone. That's probably not a good idea. I've already had one liquid accident today on my desk. Break a leg. No, he's interviewing other people to bring them into his world. Did you talk about? No, we have not talked about seeds. Because right now, what we've got is we got the roots of the life tree or the world tree growing towards the realm. And because it hasn't connected to the realm yet, Loki can hide it from the other gods. Too late to be raided by Thor. What? You could also say that Uncle is helping Loki because he doesn't want the gods to discover the realm. I think the uncle's too locked up in his own stuff to do anything with Loki. I think that Loki's connection to the world is probably always going to be through Steve until the gods find the place. Thor has never rated us, so I don't know what your Twitch killed Delcar. No, Thor has never rated us, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm assuming he just went offline or something from your question. Let's see. Is he still online? Hard to say. I think I'm going to use Word for this stuff going forward because that the other thing is not working properly. Okay, I'm not even seeing him. Here he is. Yeah, he's offline. He is no longer live, or is he? Oh, it says offline. Okay. Yeah, he's never rated us. It's no big deal. That's a terrible idea. Uncle found pieces of the world tree in depth of mines, tries to put his soul in the tree, be king of the nine realms. I think that's going a little too far because the story between the uncle and the grandfather is not our main character story. It is the world around him and the politics of the world around him. And yes, we may be spending a little bit too much time on it, but that's okay. And we will get through it, but we have to keep in mind that to the main story of our main character, rather, it's a superficial story that he's heard his whole life and is probably tired of hearing. He just wants his grandfather back. Yeah. Yes, but the world tree, I don't want to get into the seeds of the world tree. I like the idea of the world tree is searching out for the realm. And I think that if we add things like world tree seeds or anything that connects it to anything all seeing in the actual nine realms, that it kind of takes away what we're talking about. Twitch Kid Teal, I'm not even going to address the nepotism thing. It has been addressed over and over again, and all you're going to do is piss me off. He was never a Nepo baby. Stop saying that. And if you don't change your direction, I will throw you out of this chat in a heartbeat. Let's see. I got some awesome, terrible ideas. Okay. Yeah, it puts a pretty big hole in the plot. That's okay. He can rate his fares. I have no problem with that. Okay, so scope creep. Yes. Well, we're doing a lot of that anyway. We're and going back and trying to. There's part of me that thinks that we've built too much story around Grandpa and Grandpa, when our main character is who the story is mostly about. So we'll be changing that direction. Let's see. Lots of scope creep. And I take complete blame on it because I put all these questions together last night and realized, yeah, going too far into this hole. As we're talking through them, I'm realizing that we're going too far into this hole. Yep. I think the only thing we really need, I think we have enough to base a lot of the things on. Yeah, no worries. Scry, you're fine. But we're still defining the scope. We just are we may be creeping too much away from the central theme. Yesterday when you came in and you were asking all your questions, all that stuff, we didn't have anything defined yet. So you can't have scope creep if you don't have initial scope. And I think that we're to the point now here, if we take what we have, we can use this as the initial scope for the original, how they got theirs, what the problem is between the two brothers. And then now we can start. In fact, we'll probably do this tomorrow. We'll flip and say, okay, let's talk about the kid and his journey and the story around that journey. Also, we still have to name the kid. We keep calling him the boy. But there's some good old Viking names out there we can call him. As opposed to just boy. Hey, boy. Oh, well, the story doesn't have to be about the main character. Most often, yeah, true, it doesn't. But I think we have plenty to move forward with just going to the boy now. And it's also half past the hour, so it's almost quitting time. The engaging character, most often stories where the main character is just exploring the world around him and engaging with all these other stories tend to feel better and more. Well, I think that let me rephrase this, because Sparta. Have we burned the story of the grandfather and his brother to the ground? And should we be working on the other stories of the main character and the other people in the town? Because we have enough for the grandfather and the uncle. Arn? Gunhild means fight. Not too bad. Gunhild. I don't know, based on what, I don't know, just the sound of it sounds female. I mean, should our character be a female? That's something we didn't discuss. We just assumed that it was going to be a boy. I'd say we have quite a few alternatives on how to proceed with granddad and uncle. But before we can lock everything, it's best to see some of the other stories. Yeah. We can make an educated decision. Yeah. Arn means eagle. Cool. Because we have done a lot. We have jumped quite all over the place. And my goal is to kind of keep things moving. I'm not a producer, but I play one on television. Just kidding. Leaf is one that I did think about. Descendants or heir. Also, boy, girl doesn't really matter if we're doing Viking lore. That is true because they did treat them all equally in regards to they were all warriors and things like that of some kind. And I'm sure there were many times when the shield maidens had to do some fighting too. At least that's the way it looked in the Viking series. I haven't watched all of it. I'm trying to remember when I stopped watching it because I do have it on my Plex. Christianity ruined that for everyone. Funny. Throw a choice in. Well, I don't think we have to make a choice immediately. So who is the main character? He's a 10-year-old boy. He was visiting his grandfather when the accident happened and was brought to the realm with his grandfather. Has lived with his grandfather since he got here. And our story basically begins when he comes home and the grandfather's gone. Like he comes back to the hut and the grandfather's gone. Yeah, there's a lot of questions to answer, and there always will be. You know, what we have to do though is we have to find from our boy's path. We have to determine his path through the world for the game, and then we can narrow down the number of answers to questions we have to come up with, because we may not have to answer absolutely every single question. You know, in fact, that would take quite a bit of time no matter what. But this is reminding me of something I always tell people. I go, there are a finite number of problems in game making. We make them infinite. You know, we can sit here and say we do not have every single question answered, and we can continue sitting down and trying to answer the questions for the next 2 years. But that doesn't get us a game. I mean, I think that there should be some influence of what the grandfather does on the boy. I'm still calling him boy because we haven't really named him yet. So if we call him Leaf or Auric or you know, what was the other one that was up here? I'll pull it later. Arn. Gunhild. That'd be a good one if our character was a girl, I think, because that sounds feminine to me, but I may be wrong. Well, this is the video game, not a D&D campaign. So certain rules and holds have to be made. Yep. Also working off the belief that okay. I hate when you're reading something and then the chat pops up and you start one line and end up on another. Also, working out the idea that it be a boy, I might have accidentally written down 2 potentials for love interest within the Candlestick Girl and the Fletcher. Yes, that's okay. We can we can make those adjustments. I mean, if there's already some stuff that we can do with it being a boy, we can start with a boy, and in all honesty, at any time we can switch it. Maybe if Uncle believes that the gods are gone, things will return back to normal, and he won't up and heal. Now, because he grabbed his brother, and the basic story right now is he's trying to get his brother to teach him how to transfer consciousness to machinery. I think he's still going to heal. So is Astra. Isgard. It allows for ancestors' power to tie into the gameplay side. Yes. A fun text editor, if you want to give it a try, is TextStream. It's a main character in Black Clover. Steering away from the uncle and grandfather to the hero. Now we could call the main character Toby. Well, that is the code name for the game. Oh, but there was someone gave us another name. Where is it? Let me pull that up real quick. I want to look at that. What was it again? I typed it into the name list. Here's the name list. That's the mines. Where is our silly little name list we were doing? It would have to be here. Move that to the top. Did I delete it? I don't think I deleted it. God, I hope not. Over here. Yeah, I don't know where it last went. I really don't think I deleted it though. Sorry, I'm searching something over here and trying to find where the box with that information went. Okay, well, I seem to have lost it. Oh wait, no, there it is. Oh, someone suggested mistletoe. I did write it down, so that's funny. We've also had Freya. We've had Astrid. Halfdan. And Brooks Forge. So we'd name Loki Dave. Like Dave the Barbarian, the one who made the megaphone out of a squirrel rope and megaphone. My personal opinion, but is there was a name for a coming of age Viking hero, I would say it would be Leaf. It just has a nice ring to it. It's funny because every time anybody says Leaf, I think of Leif Garrett. It's a very 70s, 80s thing. He was a singer. I think he was, I may be wrong, but was he the brother of the Bee Gees? And I think he was also the main character in Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band, the movie. Leif Garrett, actor. He was in The Outsiders. I think he was in Sergeant Pepper's, though, wasn't he? He was very popular at one point. Yes. Yes, he was in Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. I, I think he was a G. No, he wasn't. He was not a BG. I'm wrong. Okay. Yep. Okay, let's see where are we at. We're way late. Okay, we're gonna finish this up, and we're going to continue tomorrow. We'll start talking about our main character and get away from the grandfather and uncle thing for a little while. Because I think we have enough overall to build something that will work. We just need to. I need to put it all in one place and then basically bring it down to, because it's a game. I think I just need to get the everything put together into one. Okay, let's do this now. Let's go back to our logo. Logo. Then we're going to go back to our notes. Throw this in so that we can jump away. Let's run the credits for a little bit. I do need to update the credits. It looks like it's probably going to be on the weekend to update the credits because there's going to be a lot of things that need to be done. But let's try to do this before the zombie starts and go to just me before the zombie